Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to see a data analysis SQL project, and the data or the project which we are going to develop and design in this particular video, it will be a real time. Okay, the data which we are going to use, it's a real time data. And our today's topic is election result analysis of 2024, right? It is nothing but the India general elections which happened in, for in 2024 around May, June. So we are going to do the result analysis of that, and it is an original data. It is a real-time data, and you know the results for your respective states, your respective constituencies. So you can go ahead and verify those, right? So this will be a real-time project, and in this particular project, we are going to use multiple tables. Okay, and when I say multiple tables, there will be 5 tables which we are going to use. We are going to create a schema. We are going to fire some SQL queries, advanced SQL queries by using joins, and we are going to use many advanced functions, right? So for the problem statement we have, and in this we are going to use both MySQL and MS SQL Server. So the queries which I will provide you, or the queries which we are going to write, it will be used in both of the database, as well as if you are using any other database, like for example, if you are using PostgreSQL, if you are using Oracle databases, right? Or if you are using a MongoDB, or if you are using MySQL. Okay, I will be using MS SQL Server, but the queries will remain same. You don't have to, worry about that. You just have to import the data, and you will be good to go, right? And this will be an end-to-end project, and basically we are going to start basic, and then we will move towards advanced, right? And as I told you, it will be a multiple table. We are not going to use a single table, so it will be a we can say industry level project, right? So we will design, or we will see how we have created a schema, and based on that we will fire different SQL queries based on what we have, right? So entirely what we are going to do, we are going to fire different queries. I will provide you the data. It will be available in the description box. The data is completely free. You don't have to, pay for that. The query document will be provided. It will be also completely free. So not only these questions, some more questions also I have added apart from this video, right? And I will provide you more questions as well, right, at the end of this particular video, so that you can use your own imagination, you can use your own knowledge to solve those particular questions, right? Because there can be multiple scenarios which can be created by using this particular data, right? So this will be our problem statement, and we are performing India general election result analysis for 2024, and it is nothing but not India general election is nothing but a Lok Sabha election which happened recently of 2024. We are going to do a complete analysis of that, and so these are the few problem statements which we have. So first problem statement we are going to find out are the total seats. Okay, by using the 5 tables which we have, right? So we are going to find out first the total seats. Then, so total seat is nothing but for total Lok Sabha elections, or we can say from all the states, from all the constituencies which we have. So whatever the total constituencies, right, that is nothing but the total seats we have, right? So then we are going to find out what are the total number of seats available for election in each state. So we are going to bifurcate, or we are going to distribute or find the distribution of seats which is state wise, right? Then we are going to see total seats owned by NDA Alliance, right? So we know that there were two important or main alliance which were there in India, that is NDA Alliance, and next is India Alliance, right? That is I.N.D.A, right? So then we are going to see what are the seats owned by NDA Alliance parties, right? So NDA Alliance is been created by formation of different parties, right? So they came together and then they formed this NDA Alliance, right? So each party, how many seats they have owned by NDA, right? Then we are going to see the total seats owned by India Alliance, right? So we all know NDA Alliance was led by Mr. Narendra Modi, whereas India Alliance was led by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So I just want to tell you before doing this project, so I'm not focusing on any party, or I'm not supporting any party in this particular. I'm totally neutral for this particular project, right? So while I'm speaking, while I'm doing different result analysis or firing some queries, don't get in your mind anything, any thoughts that okay, so that I'm supporting this or likewise. So this is just for learning purpose, so take in that way itself, right? So then next we are going to find out seats owned by India Alliance parties. Same, their India Alliance was formed with different parties. Then by considering those parties, how many seats they have owned. So these are a few main objectives which we are going to find out. Then we have to add a new column in the table party-wise results. So I will explain you. So there is one table called party-wise results, and in that we have to add a new column field that is nothing but party alliance. Okay, so we are going to find out a party alliance as a new field where we will name those particular parties if they are in NDA, if they are in India, or some of the parties they were neither in NDA and they were neither in India parties. So we will name them as other. So when I say India, I'm just saying that it is for I.N.I.A dot, right? So that is my meaning to say as India, right? So don't consider that I'm saying India as a total country. It's a alliance party. Then which party, right? Which party alliance own the most seats across all the states, right? So we are going to see across all the states. We have different states. So in that particular states, who is the leading owner of that particular alliance, right? Which the three alliances, which not three alliances, only two alliances, but the other people are not present in that alliance. So we are going to consider them as other, right? So these are the main problem statements which we are going to find out. We by five tables which we have different joining perform operations and all those we are going to perform over here, right? So this is first set of problem statements. So before moving ahead into our project, guys, let me introduce to my website. And on this particular website, you will see different data analyst material and projects which are available for you at very cheaper price. And when I say that, because of request of many subscribers where they are in need of the data analyst material, and so they if they have interview after 2 or 3 days, or if they want the complete roadmap, so what should they follow so that they will be quickly learning and all those things, right? So in this case, I have provided you the data analyst complete material which have all these particular sections included: the interview questions, the quick PDFs, quick learning notes, handwritten notes, soft copy notes of different important topics, and the complete roadmap, what videos you have to follow in that roadmap, everything is mentioned. I have also have Power BI projects, which are 13 unique projects. You can see the list of projects. Similarly, Excel projects, Tableau projects, right? If you are looking for individual materials also, like if you are looking for Power BI material or Tableau material, and what topics I'm mentioning over here, you will get an soft copy notes, PDF format notes, PPTs, handwritten notes of all these particular things, right? Also, you can see SQL material is there, or if you want to connect with me one on one, you can just click over here and you can connect with me for one on one also, right? So for career guidance or for mock interviews. So for example, if you want to go and see what is this data analyst complete material, when you click on that, you will get to see an entire description what has been mentioned in each module. So like for SQL, what has been mentioned, for Tableau desktop, what has been mentioned, and you will also get the projects in this, right? And these projects will be different from what is available on YouTube, right? So they are not the same which are available on YouTube. In data analyst complete material, I'm saying those will be different which are already available on YouTube, right? So if you are interested, if you want to enhance your data analyst journey, sure, I will recommend you to please go ahead and visit my website. So I am the right now the top rated. You can see I have different batches. I am top rated in 2023 in the data analyst and in top 1% as well for all the people who are offering this kind of services and this kind of packages for us, right? So let's move ahead to with our video again. And then we have other sets of problem statement, as we have to find out a winning candidate's name. Okay, then we have to find out their party name, then the total votes he have received, the margin of victory by which he have won that particular election or in that particular constituency with respect to other by which he was competing the other people for that particular state and for that particular constituency. So it's nothing but for that, let's say we want to see for a specific constituency who own, what was his party name, in which alliance he was, and all those things, right? So it is nothing but for constituency wise we have to find out all that particular result. Then we have to see what is the distribution of EVM votes, right, versus postal votes for candidates in specific constituencies, right? It's nothing but how are the EVM votes, that is electronic machine votes, which we just voted, who are 18 plus, they might have voted, and postal votes are nothing but for military peoples or the peoples who are remotely or they are working as a polling booth. I'm not sure, okay, but these are the people who send their votes by post, right? So that's postal votes. Then which parties own most seats in a state, okay, and how many seats did each party win? Okay, so that we are going to see state wise. In state, that in that state we have different parties, right? So for example, in UP, we have BJP, we have Congress, we have SP. So in that case, in that state, how many who have won? For Maharashtra, we have Shiv Sena, we have we have BJP also, we have Congress also, and we have like two divided Shiv Senas. Like one is led by Uddhavji Thackeray and second is led by Shri Eknathji Shinde, right? So likewise, we are going to find out who own how many seats, right, state-wise, and there are different parties in that particular state. So right, then what is total number of seats by owned by each party alliance, right? So, total number of seats owned by each party alliance, we know that these are the party alliance in each state for India elections, right? So, the same thing which we are going to do over here. So, we are going to do it earlier, but in this, we are going to see some different metrics for that, right? Then, which candidate received the highest number of EVM votes, right? So, out of all the constituencies which we have, we are going to find out who is received EVM votes as maximum, right? And we are just going to find out top 10. Then which candidate won and which candidate which candidate won and which candidate was the runner up in that particular constituency, right, for that particular state. So we are for that particular state or for that particular constituency, what we are going to do, we are going to find out the winning candidate, and then runner up candidate is nothing but who was at second place. Only these two candidates we are going to find out, right? And it might be for you the losing candidates, but for one single constituencies, there may be 10 people, there may be 15 people who have participated in the elections, and so that's the reason we are only going to find out who got maximum and who got the second maximum, right? Likewise, then for state of Maharashtra, just for an example, I have chosen it as Maharashtra. It may be Uttar Pradesh. You can find out it for Gujarat. So people who are from their respective states, you can find it, right? So I am from Maharashtra. So for my ease, right? So I have just mentioned it over here because it will be easy for me to identify the constituencies and seats and who own those particular states, right? In that particular state. So for state of Maharashtra, what are the total number of seats? What are total number of candidates? What are the total number of parties who have involved? Total votes who have received, including EVM and postal, and the breakdown of EVM and postal votes, right? So this we are going to entirely find out in this particular project, and we are going to find out queries for this, right? And before moving ahead, before showing you the data which we have, I just want to mention you guys that there might be small discrepancies in the data because obviously the data has been taken from Kaggle website, and so I'm sure that 95% of the data is correct, but 5% of data might be here and there, like total EVM votes received, total postal votes received. There might be a difference of 1,000 or 2,000 or maybe 50,000. So just ignore that. Okay, we are here to see how the things work, right? Obviously, this is a real-time project, but in that some cases, because if you see the result and if you try and go and Google the results of those particular candidates in those particular constituencies, you might see the mismatch in the numbers. So there might be some mismatch because obviously it is taken from Kaggle, and I too have not checked because it is not possible to check for all the constituencies who own how many votes he have received. So take it as a learning purpose and just but this is sure that who won, who lost, it is a correct data, right? So that's the correct data, and so not to worry about. Just I'm not sure of the votes he have received, right? So that there might be some discrepancies, but otherwise all the data has been good, right? So that I have checked for a few majority of states and majority of the parties, right? So so this is the problem statement which we have. So now main important thing, what you will learn from this particular project, what functionalities, what different functions you are going to learn of SQL in this particular project. So these are the list, these are a few list I am going to mention. These are a few important list of the functions which are mentioned over here, which you are going to learn in this entire project. So you can just pause and you can read out those particular, right? Then next, this is the entity relationship diagram. I will come to this later. First, we will see what we have in the data. All right. All right, guys. So we will move ahead to our, data walkthrough. So you can see in front of your screen, we have total of 5 files which we are going to use in this particular project. I will give you the information and I will walk through each and every file. I will give you what details or what data it stores, and then I will explain you how we are going to use this particular file in our analysis, right? So if you want to download this file, it will be available in the description box. You just have to enter your details, your email ID and your phone number if required, and you can just download that particular data, right? It will be free of cost. You don't have to pay anything. The query document also I have designed, so entire query document will be given to you freely as well, right? So with this data only you will get everything. So in case if you are getting an error while typing the query, you can refer that document and then you can rectify your query, right? So the first file which we have is constituency wise details, right? So I'll just open this file and you have this particular file as constituency wise details. So I will just first mention you what is the size of the data we have. So if I click over here, you can see at the bottom, we can see the count is 8903. So we can consider it as 8902 because it is counting the header as well. So the data we have is 8902 exact data. So it holds an information of constituency wise details. So from this particular file, I can say that in in that particular constituency, which candidate has been participated in that election, right? So this is the first column stores a candidate information. Second column stores in which party or for which by from which party he was participating. And then third column we have is the EVM votes he received, right? And then next we have postal votes he received, and then we have total votes. Total vote is nothing but EVM votes plus postal votes, right? So EVM machine, right? So we go physically in the polling the voting stations. We vote our vote by pressing some buttons for those respective parties. So that is EVM machine votes, and postal votes are which are shown by posts, right? And this is the total votes of entire both the addition of these two. And then we have percentage of vote. So how percentage of vote is been calculated? So percentage of, let's say for one of the constituency, let's say for in UP there is one constituency. I'm not sure which constituency might be there, but consider one constituency. Consider your constituency, whichever you are in, and in that particular constituency, not one single candidate might be there for or who is been fighting for the elections. There might be 10 or 15 candidates, so everybody will receive some votes. So addition of all the votes which candidates received, so out of those, how many percentage of votes that particular fellow or that particular candidates have received, that's the percentage, right? So that's the percentage of this particular, how we are calculating that percentage, and this is the constituency ID. So this ID will be used to as a joining column with other tables. So here you can see the constituency ID has been repeating. So if we obviously know that if this is the joining key, then if it is repeating of on few columns or sorry few rows, then obviously it is a foreign key, right? So what we all know the definition of foreign key, it can not it should be not null, and it can have the repeating values on different rows, right? So it's different than primary key. So this is the information which is been stored in constituency wise details, right? So we will move ahead. Then we have constituency wise results. So this is important table for us, and for us this will be a fact table, right? Because it have the entire information for us, right? So here you can see we have 544 rows over here. If we neglect the header, which is 543 rows we have over here, and here we have the name of the constituency, right? So you can see we have the constituency, parliament constituency, we have Allahabad, and in bracket we have some numbers. So we will ignore we ignore those numbers because this will be our joining condition, right? So each and every particular row have different numbers, different names. So I will come back to this, but just neglect for now. I will just go forward with constituency name. So we have each and every row. Let's say we have an Agra constituency, and in that particular constituency, who own, right? So we can say Professor SP Singh Baghel sir have own over there, and then we can see the total votes that person have received or that candidate received. Then by how what margin he have won, right? So this is the margin by which he have won in that particular constituency, and this margin is calculated from the second runner-up, right? So that's the margin which has been calculated, and not second runner-up, first runner-up. That is the who have won the second maximum votes. Then we have the constituency ID. Obviously, this will be a joining condition with other, that particular tables which we have, and same the party ID we have, which will be a joining condition with other tables we have. So here you can see the parliament constituency. We have different names for each and every constituency. So this will be a primary key. So primary key is nothing but each row should have a unique number or a unique value, non-null value, right? It should not be null. So that's the primary key. Same, this is also a primary key for us. If you can see, each and every row is having a different ID over here. But here you can see party ID has been repeating over here, so it will be a primary, we can say a foreign key for this, right? So in this way we are identifying. So this gives us the information of results. What was the output of that particular election for that particular constituency is nothing but we are getting the winning candidate information in this particular table, right? So this is the constituency result table, which will be a fact table for us, right? Then this is the party wise results. Okay, so this is just three tables we have. So in this we have an information of each and every party of each and every states, right? So you, and if you can see here, each party are have own few some numbers, right? So in this particular table, those parties are not been considered who haven't owned a single seat, right? So let's say there is one party who have owned 0 seats, so it will be not mentioned in this particular table. Any party who have at least won one seat, it will be mentioned over here, right? So you can see we have an information of each and every party over here, what seat they have won, right? So for example, we have India National Congress who have won 99 seats. Then we have the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP which have won 240 seats, right? And then we have a party ID. So you can see each and every party ID is unique. So again, this will be a primary key for us, right? So this particular just stores the party wise, or we can say party wise results data, right? So we have party and then the result of each party. Getting? So this is the party wise result. Then we have statewide result. I will show you first the statewide results. Okay. So you can see this is one more big column which we have in this. We have a constituency name. First, I will show you how many rows we have. We have 544 rows. If you neglect header, we have 543 rows, right? And we have almost 9 columns over here. So we have in this particular state-wise, we are focusing more towards each and every state. What are the different seats and constituencies? So we can see at right extreme we have the information of all states over here. Then we have the name of the constituency, what is the constituency number. Then this is the parliament constituency. We saw this particular column same as it is in constituency wise result table as well, right? So then we have leading candidate. Okay, so leading candidate is nothing but a winning candidate over here. It does not mean that this is not, it is not a dynamic table where all the results will change and all those. So leading candidate nothing but he have already won in that particular, and trailing candidate is nothing but the first runner up, nothing but who have received the second maximum votes. These have received the maximums, these might be a second maximum votes, right? So by what margin he have won, and what was the status if the result has been declared or not. You can see the result has been already declared. So it means that leading candidates are nothing but already won candidates, right? Then we have state ID and we have information of from which state that particular fellow has won, right? So one thing you might have noticed over here, so for this particular first row, so for constituency Surat, you can see leading candidate, which is nothing but result has been already declared. So this is a winning candidate, that is nothing but Mukesh Kumar Chandrakant Ji Dalal and here you can see trailing candidate, there is no information available over here. So what has happened over here actually, so for this particular candidate, so all who have filled their nomination against this particular candidate, they already withdrew their nomination, and this was uncontested winner, right? So there was no contest happened. There was no any rival for this opposition for this particular pharaoh, and he was declared uncontested. So you can see margin has been mentioned over here as 0. Okay. So it does not mean that he won by 0 margin, but he was uncontested. You can see the status over here, right? So this was one particular situation in Gujarat, in Surat constituency. All right. So this is the all information we have over here. So I will just save this and I will close this. So this was the statewide result. Next, I will just quickly open the next data we have. So here we have next is states. Okay, so this is a simple thing. We have information of all the states. Then we have state ID. Okay, so this is again a primary key for us. Each and every row have a different state, and these are all states which we have, right? So this is the all information we have. And now next thing what we have done is I have just analyzed all of them and I have created a schema and joining condition for us. So I'll just show you over here. So this is nothing but the entity relationship diagram. So entity relationship diagram is nothing but ERD diagram, or we call it as a schema as well. So as I already told you, you can see at the center we have constituency result, and in this particular constituency result we have all of these columns. Okay, so these are the columns which we have over here. Then I have placed all other tables over here, right? So all other table information over here. So first thing what I have did is you have I will just show you the data again. So what I will do, I will just open the data, and you can see we have a constituency result over here. So you can see I will just go back over here. Okay, and I will just increase the size. All right, so here you can see guys, we have constituency result, and in that we have parliament constituency. Then we have all other this particular state. So first thing what you have done, you can see in this particular light orange color, constituency ID and constituency ID. So by using this as a joining key, I have joined this particular table to details table. So what we are going to do while writing a query, constituency result is been joined to constituency details by using this particular key, that is nothing but constituency ID. And you can see these are the matching colors. For you to understand, I have just added this matching colors so that you will understand. Yeah, so this is joined with this particular thing, right? So this is the constituency ID by which this has been joined. So this is the central fact table we have, and all of the other these are the dimension tables. By definition it is that, right? So that's the one information, right? Then next we have state-wise results, right? So in state-wise results we have one column called parliament constituencies. By using this we are going to join parliament constituency to this particular table. So you can see these two tables are joined on parliament constituencies, which are highlighted in yellow color, right? So we can see these two tables are joined by using these two particular columns. All right, so this will be the joining condition in between this. Then we have joined this particular constituency results to party results by using party ID column. Here you have party ID as well. You can see in this constituency wise results data we have party also. So you can see it has been highlighted in green color. So these two are joined by using this party ID. Second, we have states. So states we are joining with state-wise results, right? Here you can see this is a different joining condition. It's not directly connected to state-wise results, right? So let's say if you want to bring an information of state from this, right? So actually this particular state column was not required over here because we already have the state information over here. But for our learning purpose, we have just added it over here, right? So we can say this is the state uh, ID column which has been connected between these two tables, right? Then here you can see if we want to bring in information from this particular table and this particular table, we cannot directly bring it. We have to use this state-wise result as a bridge in between them, right? So we have to go from here to here, and then we have to go from here to here, right? So then all the information will be created, right? So we have some information, some problem statement where we have to make use of state column also, and that we will be using, right? You will see and you will learn that in further in this particular video. All right, so this is the entire schema we I have created for you guys, so you can refer this You can note this down, or you can take a screenshot, you can place it somewhere else, and then it will be easy for you to refer back while I'm writing the queries, right? So you can see I've added this in a blue color, so this is matched with this, right? So I have used all the color combinations. I have made it as easy for you guys which I could make. So I hope you have understood this. So this has been the schema which we are going to use. By using this schema, we are going to fire the queries, use the joining conditions, and get the output for the problem statements which we have. This is very important, guys. And in industry terms, we called it as entity relationship diagram, right? So we have different entities. So in different industries, we call each table. So this is the table. This is one table. This is another. So each table we call them at as entities, and relationship is nothing but how they are related to each other. That is nothing but relationship diagram. So this is of 5 tables. Most of the industries have 10 table, 15 table. So looking that entity relationship diagram, you have to decide which will be the joining key, which will be the joining condition, and based on that you have to write all the queries. Understood? So this was the schema for us. I hope you have learned something new over here. And if you have come at this point of the video, I request you to please go ahead and like this particular video. Share this with your friends. Comment if you have any doubt. Comment down if you are learning something. So it will give me a motivation. And please subscribe the channel. That's the biggest motivation for me to create such wonderful projects and real-time projects for you. So I'm sure that you will be always looking, or you will be looking for your state data. You will be looking for your state results, your constituency results. So I will be doing it for a constituency, different constituencies. Obviously, I will be doing, but you can always look for your constituencies, right? So this is something for entity relationship diagram. And next, now we will see how to import the data in MS SQL Server, right? Alright guys, so we will move ahead and I will just open the MS SQL Server Management Studio. So in this particular video, I will be using an MS SQL Server database. As I said, you can use any database to, fire this particular SQL queries. You can either use MySQL, you can use PostgreSQL, whichever you want. Okay, so you just have to import the data in those particular databases. If you are using any other databases, I'm assuming that you know how to import the data. If you don't know, there are plenty of other videos available on YouTube on how to, import a CSV file in a database, right? So what I will do, I will just open a MS SQL Server database over here. So for that, what I will do, I will just type here SSMS, right? So you have to, those who have MS SQL Server Management Studio, you just have to type SSMS, and you can see you have to open MS SQL Server Management Studio, whichever you have, whichever version you have, right? So I'll just open it. It will take some time to open, and then it will ask me a password. Okay, so I will add the password and all other things for me. I'll just click on connect. Okay, so as soon as I do, you can see everything is blank over here. At the left hand side, you can see an object explorer is available over here, and there are different database. When I expand this, when I click on plus button, you can see different databases available over here, right? So now what I will do, I will just create a new database for us, right? So because we want to see everything in a new database. So for that, what I will do, you can just click on this database. I will right click over here and you have an option here called as new database. So just click on new database and I will name this particular database. It's your choice, whichever name you can give, you want to give, you can give. I will just mention it as India election results. Okay, I will just give this particular name for me. So India election results, and I will all add the files over here. So it will be results. All right. And what I will do, I will just click on OK. So as soon as I do, you can see a new database has been created for me. That is nothing but India election results, right? Then I will expand this particular database. So as soon as I do, you can see there are these different, already existing folders which are created after creating these databases. So these are the default folders we have. And now we have to add the tables which we already have as an CSV file in our system. So when I click on plus over here, you can see there are no tables available over here, right? So at this particular graph tables below, there will be the name of tables. So for example, if I show you for other database, let me show you for PizzaDB. So when I click on plus, and when I click on tables over here plus, you can see the name of table is available. DBO, it is nothing but database object and dot the name of that particular table, right? So I will just collapse this. So this is what how we are going to do. And now we have to add the table, right? So before adding the table over here, whichever files which are already open in your system, that is nothing but CSV file which you are going to import, if they are open in your system, just close all of them, right? So just save them and close all of them, then and then it will allow us to add. Otherwise it will say there is an error, it is already opened in another application. So just close all of them. Then what we will do, I'll just right click over here. You have to click on right click, you have to click on, or not here actually, you just have to click over here, click on India election results, then click on then right click, then you have tasks, right? Just click on task, and then at bottom you can see you have an option called import flat file. Okay, so just click on this. A new dialog box will be opened in front of your screen. Then this is an import flat file dialog box, or a preview which you have. Then just click on next. Okay, then it is asking you the location from which the file is been should be imported. So you might have already downloaded the data and you might have placed somewhere in a folder, right? So you just have to browse that particular folder. So I'll just click on browse. So for me, it's available over here in data folder, right? So I'll just click on data, and these are the files which I have. So I'll just import one by one all the files. So I'll just click on constituency wise details. First I will import this. I will just click on OK. All right. Then I will just click. Then you have the table name. So you have an option here to change the name of the table. If you want, you can obviously change, and this is the table schema. So it is by default DBO, that is nothing but a database object. So you can change the name, but I will recommend you to not change the name, because whatever queries I am going to write, which will be on the names which I am importing. So just keep all the names as it is, which are there on the files, and the same names which are going to be used here also. Then just click on next. So then you can see a sample data is available in front of you, and you can check over here if all the data has been imported, is been brought in this particular file or not. Okay, so this is the data obviously we have. Next, what we can do is I'll just click on next. Then these are the information of all the tables we have, that is nothing but column name, all the column names, and this is the data types we have, right? So wherever you see tiny integer, you can see a tiny integer is there. I will just convert it into integer. So instead of tiny integer, I will just convert it in, or here you can just click on integer. You can drop down this and you can just click on integer. That's very simple, right? Then you can see a name of candidate. So here you have an varchar. I will just convert it into varchar. So you can see a varchar, and it's taking as 50 as character size. Nothing but, let's say my name is Swapnajit. So right. So if you can calculate the number of characters, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So if it is 50, it is less than, so 9 characters are there in my name. So obviously, yeah, it will allow to enter the candidate name. But if the candidate name is very long, greater than 50, then it will not allow us to enter the character name more than 50. So it's better, we will already always keep it as higher side. I will just keep it as 100. Similarly for n varchar, this also I will change to varchar 50, and I will keep this also to 100, right? Because party names might be different. Oops. So here party name might be different. Similarly, VVM votes we have postal votes also, instead of small integer, I will convert this to an integer, right? Small integer is nothing but whichever numbers are in single, or we can say as single digit, 1, 2, 3 up to 9. But postal votes has a more than 10, more than 100, more than 1,000. So it's better to keep it in integer. Percentage of this is fine. Then constituency ID also we will change it to varchar 50. Right, so constituency ID is already less than 4 to 5 characters, so we will keep it in as a 50 characters, right? So that's what we are going to do. Then I will just click on next, then click on finish. Okay, so important message over here, you have received that operation is been complete. So make sure you get an green tick mark over here. If there is an error for you which has been encountered an error, here you will get an yellow I mark sign, and here you will see an error. So you just have to click on this particular error. When you click on that error, you will get a message that what's the error you have received, and you can just rectify that error whichever you have, right? So I will just close this, and now what I will do, I will just right click over here and I will refresh this. Okay, I will just refresh this and I will now see in tables. You can see there is an object been added, that is constituency as stated. So we have added the first table. So if you want to see and fire the query what data we are receiving over here, so what I will do, I will just right click over here and I will click on new query. Okay, and now here you can write the query. So I will just write the query as, let's say, select, I want to see everything, that is star. If you use star, that is nothing but everything from which particular table, that is nothing but constituency wise results details, right? So from this particular table we want to see everything, and I will just click on execute. As soon as you do, you can see all the table has been retrieved over here. And at the right hand bottom here you can see, we can see the total number of rows, that is nothing but 8902. So which are the exact number of rows which I showed you while I walk you through the data. So these are the exact number of rows which we have, right? And all the information here we have, right? So this is important for us guys, because this serial number, this name of all the columns whichever we are going to use, these are the important for us for firing the queries further. These names as well, if these are in capital letters is only the way where we have to go ahead and use further in our queries. So I will tell you that in the next part of this particular video, so not to worry on that. Now we have just imported first file, that we will go and import the second. So I've just showed you the things for one file. I will just quickly do it for the next. I will just click on import flat file. Next, I will browse the data and choose the constituency as a result. Click on open. I will keep the name as it is. Then I will click on next. This is all the information we received. Just cross check once if everything is there. Then click on next. Similarly, wherever you see tiny integer, just convert it into integer. Wherever you see n varchar, convert it into varchar. And safer side, just add more characters, right? So that there should be no error for us. So we will keep it as 100. So here also n varchar, so I'll just convert it into varchar 50. Instead of this, I will just click 150. So I'll safer side. So this is also n varchar, so I'll just convert it into varchar and 100. And this is small integer, I will just convert it into integer. Perfect. So this is the things we have, and obviously here you can give primary keys. I've already told you the parliament constituency we have, this is the primary key. So primary key, always remember, primary key does not have any nulls in each and every row. All the values are unique in each and every row, right? Similarly, if you, I'll just show you quickly. So here you can see in primary, here I have what I have done. One sec. So this is the primary key for us, right? So all this particular, each and every row have a different value. Similarly, constituency ID is also a primary key for us. So what we will do, we will add two primary keys for us. So I will add this also, constituency ID also as well primary key, right? And just I will click on next and I will click on finish. So you can see there is an error for us. And here is this, we will just click on that and we will see what is the error for us. So you can see this is being used by another process. So what I have done, I have just opened this file in another application, and that's the error thrown for me. So I'll just close this first and I'll just click on no save. I will go previous, and I will just click on next again and click on finish. And now you can see the data has been successfully inserted. So it was open for me in another application, and that's the reason it has been not seen over here. Then I will just right click over here again and I will refresh. Okay, then you can see in tables, not in views, you can see we have the constituency results. So same thing what you will do, if you want to see the data, I will just write it on new, and here instead of results we want details, we want to see results, right? Okay, and I will just select this entire. So if you want to run a part of query which we have in the window, just select that particular query and then run it. And you can see this is the constituency results table which we have. And at the bottom, you can see 543 rows. So these are the exact number of rows which we had in our CSV file, right? I hope you have understanding. And the same way, we will add other files also. Just click on tasks, import flat file, click on next, browse. Party wise results is the next table. Don't change the name. Click on next, click on next. Obviously we will again change this to varchar 50, and I will just keep it as varchar 150. tiny integer I have to convert into integer, and party ID also I will convert it into integer, right? So party ID for us is an as I already told you in data walkthrough, this will be an primary key for us. So I'll just click on here as a primary key. Then I will just click on next, and I will just click on finish, and you can see the data has been imported, right? And I will close this. Then I will just refresh. All right, and you can see the table will be added. So you can see the table has been added, and if you want to see, I'll just from instead of this we want party wise results, right? And I'll select this entire and I'll run this, and you can see party wise results 42 rows are there. You can cross check, those are the same number of rows which we have. All right, so this is party wise results. Next we will just quickly go and add the other files. Import flat file. Next, browse. I will add state wise results and click on next. Click on next. Similarly here also quickly we will change everything. Here we will use 100. Instead of tiny integer, we will be using as integer. Here also we will choose varchar 50, and here we will choose it as 100. Here also varchar 50, and here we will choose it as 150. Similarly here as well varchar 50, and we will choose it as 100. As similarly here also varchar 100 we will choose. This also we will choose it as varchar 100, and this also as varchar 100. Perfect. And here you can see for trailing candidates we are allowing as null. Why? Because I told you in the state-wise constituency results or state-wise results, there is one candidate from Surat constituency who do not have any trailing candidate. So that value is already null. So that's the reason we should, this is automatically checked. If you uncheck it and then do the next operation, it will give you an error. So just keep it checked. And for here, this is our primary key for us, right? The state parliament constituency already told you, so this will be a primary key for us. Getting? And then I will just click on next and finish, and you can see the data has been imported. I will just refresh this, and you can see the table is present over there, right? So this is the table, and I will just fire the query. So instead of this we want state wise results, right? And I'll just fire this query, and you can see this is the statewide results, 543 rows, exactly what we have. Perfect. Now again the last table we have to import. Tasks, import flat file. Next, browse, and I will import the states. Next, keep everything as it is. State ID is primary key for us, and here instead of var you will choose varchar 50 as an 100. Similarly here also we will use varchar 100, right? Next, finish, close, refresh, and we can see the table oops, the table added over here, that is states, and you can just fire the quickly. Okay, and I will just run this, and you can see all the states are there. 36 states we all have, and all the information has been brought in MS SQL Server. All right. So now we have all the information, we have imported all the files, and now our actual task starts is to fire the SQL queries with respect to the problem statement which we have. All right, guys. All right, guys. So now we will solve our first problem statement. So if you go over here, so this is the problem statement we have, and the first one is to find out the total seats. Okay. So now obviously we are going to make use of the problem statement. Obviously we are going to use, but we are going to make use of this particular table very much, because in this one particular picture you have all the names of the table. You have the names of the fields in that table and the joining conditions as well, right? So you don't have to always go and open the Excel sheets of each and every tables and see what data we have, right? So the simple thing what we want here is, as per our first problem statement, is the total seats. Now what is meant by total seats? And you also know that how many total seats were there in the total, for the India general elections for Lok Sabha elections 2024. So it were 543 seats. If you ask anybody, ask you orally also, you will be able to rule that, say that yeah, there were 543 seats. But you want a proof from the data that yeah, 543 seats were there. So we know that this is our important and fact table from where every information is been distributed and been stored in other tables also, right? So this is the fact table we are having, and we are going to make use of this mostly and mainly in our firing the queries, right? So if you see, for sake of first query, I will open this particular fact table which we have. So I will just open the constituency results, and you can see this is a particular thing where all the constituency results are been stored, and each and every row gives an information of winning candidate. So very simple. So from this table we are going to find out the how many were there, the total particular seats available, because you can, here you can see we have the parliament constituency. In each and every row we have here is an evening. So one particular row gives the information of one constituency. This is the information of second constituency. So we will make use of this particular thing, and we will fire the query for that. So instead of firing it in this particular thing, we will be using a different particular query window for us. So I'll just right click over here and then click on new query. So you can always go back over here, and you can fire these particular tables to see the data immediately in this particular page itself, instead of going back in Excel sheet and doing that, right? So I will just go over here, and yeah, I will fire the query over here. So I will be using an select statement over here. So we want select what we want, count, but we don't want only count, we want distinct count. Count will also work, but distinct count will be always safer side to calculate the unique rows. So we will take the distinct count. Okay, so we want distinct count of what? Okay, so if you run this particular table, let's say if you run the constituency results table, you can see we want the distinct count of this particular table column, that is nothing but parliament constituency. I will write that same over here. So we want from parliament constituency, I will just type it here, parliament underscore constituency. So make sure there is no spelling mistake, guys. Okay, so there shouldn't be any spelling mistake, I can say, in this particular table which you are writing, or the column which you are referring to. And we want it from where? So from, we want it from constituency results. So I will just copy this constituency results and I will paste it over, so it will save our time. And I will just run this query. As soon as you do, you can see the number of seats which are available for us are 543, which is the correct number. We also know that. So just we want to find out it from the query. So we will give the name of this particular column over here. So you can give a temporary name from here. So this particular column name we will give it as we will be using as what should be the name, the temporary name, we will use it as total seats. Okay, and I will just run this. You can see the total seats are there, nothing but 543. So always remember, guys, to maintain a query document, you just have to select this, copy it somewhere else, and store the results as well. Take a snap of this and store the results the same way which I have did over here. You can see here I have created a nice document for us, because why we are doing this, guys, in real time I will tell you what happens. So let's say you are working on a project, you fired some queries, you got some output, but client does not know what query you fired, what output you got. So it is always useful to maintain a record, right? If client asks in future, what was the query fired, show me the query, show me the document, what you maintained, what is the proof of that. So it is always there. So there might be a different sources or formats of documents in which it has been stored. Some stored on SharePoint, some store it on Google Sheets, some store on some other app which each and every company have. But you have to store it. So some stores in Excel sheets also. So I have just maintained and a simple document. This is the query, and this is the result you got, right? So important for not only clients, but in future if there is a new developer who is working on this project, and if he comes and if you want to refer the, or if the initial queries what were used, so he should know what has been used, right? So this is the thing which has been used over here, right? So this was our first problem statement. We will move ahead to our second problem statement, that is what are the total number of seats available for elections. I will just copy this and I will paste it over here. So this is we want to find out, right? So this is our question. I will just comment it out, right? So what are the total number of seats available for election in each state, right? So in each state, so now we found out the total number of seats, but we want to now separate it based on each state, right? So in state, each state, how many seats are available for us, right? So now here, this is a tricky question for us. Now you can see we have an information of, obviously we found out the information of total number of seats from here, and the state's information is available over here, right? So you can see we are going to make use of this table, constituency wise result and state information, right? Because we want the state wise results. So we cannot jump directly from here to here. Why? Because there is no any direct connection available from here to here. So we have to use a bridge in between for a joining condition, that is nothing but this particular table. So we will see how to use that in the query. So what we want is, we want the total number of seats. So what I will do, I will just use select statement. Okay. So now what we want state also. So I will use s dot state, and I will mention you why we are using x. S is nothing but a temporary name given to that particular table in this particular query itself. So for now, just see what I'm writing or use whatever I'm writing. Okay. So this is s dot state, and I will name it as name of the state, right? So this is for me as a state name. Okay. So this is the state name, comma, we want one more output, that count, or we can take it as a distinct count, the same way which we did last query. So we want distinct count of what? Parliament constituency. That is nothing but we are going to take cr dot parliament. Make sure don't have spelling mistake. Okay. Okay, so CR is nothing but again a temporary name. CR is nothing but a second table which we are referring to. So S is nothing but a states table. CR is nothing but a constituency results table. So these are the nothing but a temporary table name or short form table name we are using, because instead of writing full names, and why we are doing this, because we should have a referral for us, that from which particular table we are bringing that particular column. So that's the reason we have to write this, right? And we will name it as total seats, right? So total seats for us, right? And now we want to bring it from where? So first thing I told you that first we will be going from in this way, first this table, then this table, and then this table. So from these three tables we have to bring the information. So first is what? Constituency results, right? So we want to bring it from constituency results, and now here we will name this particular table as CR, right? So this is the temporary name, that is nothing but we have used over here, right? So CR. Then what we have to do, we have to use now a joining condition. So we will use an inner join here, right? So we are going to use an inner join. We all know inner join is nothing but it will give us the matching record from both the tables, right? Left join, it gives matching records as well as non-matching records from left table, right? Everything from left table and matching records from right table. Simple. Inner join just gives matching records from both the table, right? So this is the inner join we are going to use. And next, first what we have to join, we have to join this table to state-wise results. So I will just join first this to state-wise results. Oops, copy this, join this to state-wise results, and I will name it as state-wise results, short form as SR. Okay. On, because we have to give a joining condition, so I will use a joining condition we already know, cr dot. So cr, that is nothing but the name or the field which we are going to use from this table. Instead of writing the full name, we will use cr, because it is nothing but the name of this table itself, cr. So what is the joining condition? We know that this table and this is joined on parliament constituencies. You can see there is a yellow marks I have matched over here to help you understand. So these two tables are joined on what? Parliament constituency. So I will just take this, I will just copy this simply, and I will paste it over here. So just that here there should be an underscore in between them, right? So on cr.parliament constituency is equal to what on this table? That is nothing but sr dot parliament constituencies. Getting a note, guys? Important for here to note that left side we are joining it on this, and right we are joining it on this common columns, right? again, now what we have to take state from here. So I have to join now this to this, right? So we have joined this to this. Now we have to join this to this. So inner join again. Okay, inner join again. So now here we will inner join what? So here what we will do? Here we will inner join again our states, right? So now we will join our states, right? States column, and states is nothing but we'll give it as short form as S, and on what we will join it with SR dot. So that is nothing but a left column will be now a left table for us will be this particular table, that is constant state-wise results. So state-wise results, sorry. So SR we have to give as which is the common column in between, that is nothing but state ID. So that's the field name we have to mention here. State underscore ID is equal to on s dot states particular ID, right? So that is nothing but from this table state ID, and this short form for this is nothing but SR, and similarly short form this for this will be S. So what I will do, I will just add the short forms for here, it will be easy for you. So I'll add it. This will be CR for us, and this will be SR for us. That is nothing but short names which will be used in query. This is S we will be using. For this we will be using PR, then nothing but party wise result, and here we will be using CD, constituency wise results, right? Simple. Now it will be easy for us to understand, right? So first we joined CR dot parliament constituency is equal to SR dot parliament constituency. Then we are again inner joining these two states, inner join states on SR, that is SR dot states ID is equal to S dot state ID. Simple, right? Now as we are using one, you can see a dimension with one measure. So you have always use a group by clause over here. Getting or not? So I'll use a group by clause, grouping it by what? Whichever thing we are using, that is s dot state. Group by this, and this is the query, and we will run this. So you can see incorrect syntax, distinct count. What's wrong over here? Or we will just, I will just remove this distinct. It doesn't matter for us. And now we can see we have got, see why I have removed the distinct. If it is there also, it does not matter. But if I have removed here, because parliament constituencies in this particular table, that is CR table, result table, each and every row is unique and it will give us the same result. So it doesn't matter if you are using count or if you are using a distinct count, right? So we got we used a count function over here, and then we got this particular result, right? So we have grouped this. So you can see with this particular query, and if you see here, you can look for your particular state. Let's say you can see for Uttar Pradesh there are 80 seats, or we can say 80 constituencies on which election will be, or election has been already happened, or we can say there was election happened. In Maharashtra there were 48. In Arunachal Pradesh to Andhra Pradesh there were 25. Bihar there were 40. Gujarat there was 26. Right? Karnataka there were 28. And if you take count of all of these, you will get 543, right? So that I will keep up to you how to get that. So I hope you have understood this. We have gone from this table to this table, and here you have to use bridge of this table, because though we haven't brought any information from this particular table, still we have to use a bridge between these two tables, because these two are not directly connected. Getting or not? So that's the reason I have used the bridge in between these two, right? Sometimes you directly get the results, sometimes this is directly connected. So let's say if it is connected in this way also, from party wise results, if it had been connected, you can use this or you can use this connection, right? But it's better to always use a bridge if there is no direct connection. Otherwise it will give a misleading results, or it might give you an error, right? So this was our second problem statement. I hope you have understood, right? So now moving ahead to our next problem statement, I will just open our PPT, and the third problem statement is total seats owned by NDA Alliance. So I will just copy this and I will add it over here, and I will add it over here, and I will comment it out. Okay. So this is what next we have to find out is total seats owned by N.D.A. Alliance. And here, as I told you guys, you can go ahead and look for your particular states if this total seats are correct or not. Okay, and I hope it is correct because the data which we have, I think so it is correct. Just there might be some discrepancies in EVM votings, right? There might be some discrepancies because I have noticed few, but I have ignored that because we cannot correct them all. All right. So next we have to find out total seats owned by NDA Alliance, right? So this query I have already written. I will just copy this query and I will use this and I will mention you how we have written this and why we have written this. Okay. So I'm just using this query. Okay. So I'll just reduce this Y so you can see the query at once. And I will just delete this so this won't bother us. Perfect. Right. So now this is the total seats and I have used this particular query for us. Now, you will tell me why we are using this query. So already from Google, I have just found out what are the alliance or which are the alliance parties which are there in NDA, right? So first you should know which are the NDA parties because which parties come together and form an NDA group, right? So we already know Bharatiya Janata Party is there and Telugu Desam, that is TDP is there, Janata Dal United is there, Shiv Sena, the Shiv Sena is of Shindeji. Then we have AJSU party, Apna Dal is there, AGP is there, HAMS is there, Janasena party is there. Then we have Janata Dal, then we have Nationalist Congress Party of Sharad Pawar, then Rashtriya Lok Dal. All these parties combinedly form NDA, right? And we have used and select statement sum. Okay, we are taking sum of one from where party wise results. I will show you what's the information in party wise results if I run this query. So this is party wise table for us. So this is the own candidates. So we are taking sum of all the own candidates who falls in NDA. So from here only we have taken all this particular, we have copied the name of whichever parties are there in NDA, right? So that's only we have done. We have created a case statement for us, right? And when there is a party in between this, right? So if these are this all falls as an BJP or all these other party makes an NDA alliance, then we want some of what all of these own candidates, right? So all, not sorry, own seats, right? And if there is something else, it will give us as 0. Then we will end this statement and this is nothing but we will give it this entire thing as a temporary name, that is nothing but total NDS its own, and from we are taking it from party wise results, right? So I hope you are understanding what I'm telling you. For me it's not easy to write each and everything, it will take time, and that's the reason I have already wrote it for you and you just have to see how it works and you can verify if all these are NDA parties or not. And when I run this particular query, I will just select this entire thing and I will execute this. And you can see total seats owned by NDA were 292. You can Google it out. You might also know that total seats were owned by NDA party were 292 out of 543. 292 seats were owned by NDA party, and obviously they have made their government with Sri Narendra Modi ji as an prime minister, right? So this is the NDA party or the total seats owned by NDA party. All right. So in further video, I will tell you instead of writing this entire thing, okay, again and again, again and again, there is one problem statement which has been asked for us in further that we can just write this entire thing in one single statement only. But for that we have to fire some queries first and then we can do this, right? And one more thing here to important or note, guys. So always remember whatever names we have written now. So these all the names are been taken from Excel sheet as it is. Here you can see there is one space. Here you can see there is one space. The same space you have to give here as well, whatever is there in the data. Because if one space is also missed, okay, if you one space is also missed, if you can if you just add a backspace over here, your entire query will fail or you will get an entire duplicated result. So what let's say I'm adding a space over here. So what I will do when I execute, you can just see only 52 are there. And if I give a space again over here, 292 are there. Why is this happening, guys? Because this is a case sensitive. The query is case sensitive. Whatever strings you write over here in statement, those are case sensitive because they go and see in your data if there is an matching value for this particular text you have written or not, right? So that's the reason. Always remember this is a case sensitive. Whatever you are writing, it should match whatever is there in Excel sheet. So better copy whatever is there in Excel sheet and then add it in your query, right? So this is what we have wrote, right? So and we are finding this from this particular table because it is stored in this particular table. All right. I hope you are understanding, guys, right? So this was for NDA parties, right? And next problem statement we have here is seats owned by NDA Alliance parties, right? So we found out that only for NDA Alliance it were 292. Sorry, but for each and every party, what was the seat distribution, or we can say winning percentage of seat, winning seat distribution. So for that, what I will do, I'll just delete this first, and I'll add the question first over here. Okay, seats owned by NDA party, and I will add the comment it out. And now here we will use, and I have already wrote the query for this because it is a big query. So I will just same query we are going to use, guys. It's very simple. Okay, same query. You can see the query is same. Every part is same. Only few things has been changed over here. What we want name of the party as well here, right? And then the seats own. And so we want the party name as well. So we are using the party name. Then we want the name, or we can say what how many seats they have won. So we have taken own because we can see here we have own column in this particular party wise results, and the name of party is also required. So we have used party over here. From which table? Party wise results. Where party in what? The same parties which were there in the last query which we used, same parties were there in NDA Alliance. So same parties will be used. We will close the in bracket because all this are been used, and we will order it by in descending order just to see which party have won maximum at top, and then in descending order. And I will execute this. And when you see over here, when I execute this query, you can see each party wise seats owned. So we can see Bharatiya Janata Party won 240, Telugu Desam won 16 seats, Janata Dal United 12, Shiv Sena was 7 from Maharashtra. Then you have this 5, Janata Dal JDS as 2, Janasena Party for again this were 2. So likewise, if you take addition of all of these, it will be 292, right? So this particular parties form an NDA group, right? So that is NDA Alliance, right? And so this was and how we fire the queries for this. I have not written this, guys, because as I told you, it will take time, and this is case sensitive. I will not tell you again, right? So this for this. I will just select all and I will delete this. And next problem statement which we have is same. Instead of India, now we want to find it or India Alliance, and India means what? I.N.D.A. I'm not sure what's the full form of that. Uh, the India party. I will just find it and I will show you here. All right, so I have found out the full form of this, that is India. It is nothing but India National Development Inclusive Alliance. So this is the formation of India Party, right? So that's I.N.D.A. Right? So that's the India. Then we will just copy the problem statement, that is total seats owned by India Party. I'll paste it over here, and that's what we have to find out, right? So I have already have the query for this. I will just take that query, so it will save our time. The same query which we used initial, Control C, and just the party names will change. Okay, so I'll just show you the query first. Okay, so here you can see we are using a select statement again, and then sum. Okay, then we are using a case statement just to see the combination. So when uh, again, when if the parties are in, and all these parties which you see over here, guys, so these parties combinedly form an India Alliance, that is nothing but India National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, that is India. And the main party which you can see, it is a Indian National Congress, and this entire alliance was promoted, or it had a face of Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji, right? And the same thing, we are taking all the information from party wise results, right? So this is the query which we'll be using. And when I fire this query, so first I'll just select this, and then I will fire this, and you can see the total number of results which we have, that is India seats own, are 234, right? And I also recommend you first you go ahead and type this everything in. So as I told you, you don't have to type this. You can just find the names of all of these particular parties, and you can just take it from the Excel sheets of the party that is with particular this particular Excel sheet which you already have. Copy and paste it over here. You can see the names on video. You can just use those and you can paste it over here and see if it is running or not. You can find the query, the errors if you are getting any, right? And obviously, if it is not working for you, the query document will be mentioned in the download section. You can download it from there and you can use it from there and you can get the results, right? So you can see for India Alliance own 234, right? And so that's what India Alliance party own the total number of seats, right? Same thing, what we have to do next is we have to find out the uh, in this particular India Alliance individual party seats own we have to find out. So the same thing, that is nothing but we have to do this, right? And what I will do, I will try to change a few things over here itself, right? So what we want here is we want the information of party, okay? Then we want information of own, right? And where we will be using a where condition here, where party in, okay, where party in open bracket all these parties, and we will close this, we'll delete this, and party in between these parties, and from group from this, and we have to group this by, we have to group this by this particular, that is party, and we will order it by one in descending order. Okay, and now let's see if it's running or not. So we have a syntax error at from. All right, so we have got an error. So we can see that there is a syntax error as own. Here we don't see any syntax. Here there is one own, and here there is one own. Okay, so here should we order by, and now let's see what we see. So we can say it is invalid. So why it is invalid? Because I agree. Oh, okay. So group by is used when there is an aggregation which is been used to call any numeric or any metric column. So here we are not using any aggregation for own. So it is not required to use group by. So I will just remove it. We'll just keep it as order by. And now I will just run this query, and I will run this, and now here you can see we have got the result, right? So all these particular parties which are there, which form an India alliance, we can see these are the parties. There are 20 parties which form an India alliance, and the maximum number of votes which were received in that particular alliance was by INC, that is Indian National Congress. Then we have Samajwadi Party from UP. Then we have All India Trinamool Congress, that is 29. And we have DMK 22, and all others you can see, right? Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray. So from Maharashtra, those were 9. So if you take addition of all of this, you'll get 234, right? So that's what we have to find out as seats owned by India Alliance parties. All right. So I have just used all the used queries because it was not easy for me to type everything. So I hope you understood. You can type this or you can copy it from the query document, but I recommend to use these names from Excel sheet. Use, try it, paste it over here and see what errors you are getting. You will learn from that, and then you will get this particular results, right? And so this was for this particular problem statement. All right, so now we will move ahead to our next problem statement, that is to add a new column field. So this is not a problem statement, or we can say it is a problem statement, but here you have to modify our existing table, right? So we will see how to do that. So I will just copy this, and I'll select this all, and we'll delete everything. I will add it over here, and I'll comment it out so we will know what's the question, right? So now here what we have to do here is add a new column field in table, uh, party wise results. So in this particular table we have to add a new field to get party alliance, if it's NDA, if it's India, or if it's other, right? So if I see here, you can see I have already fired this party wise query results, and this is the table we have. So we know that Aam Aadmi Party, it's an India Alliance party, right? So then we have Bharatiya Janata Party, it's an NDA Alliance party. So we want to create a one more table or a column over here, a field over here named as Party Alliance, and it should name this particular party fall in which alliance, right? Whether India Alliance, whether NDA Alliance, or not both, then we will choose it as other, right? So likewise. So for that, first what we have to do is first we have to create a column over here, set a data type to it, and then we have to add this particular other values in this by making use of these particular values, right? So for that, first we have to alter our table to add our we can say one column over there. So first what we'll do, we will use an alter function to change our table, to add something in that, in, or we can say to add an column in that. So we will alter table, right? And which table we have to, obviously it is a party wise result. So I'll just copy it. So this particular thing, I will just copy it. Oops, here. Control C, Control V, right? So this particular table we have to alter, and what we have to do, we have to add a table, or sorry, we have to add a column. So now we have to add the name of the column over here. That is, we will name it as Party Alliance. Okay, so this is the name of the table. Sorry, it comes table. It is the name of the field we are going to add in this particular table. That is Party Alliance. Then we have to name the data type of this particular field. So we are going to name it as varchar. Okay, and we will name how many characters, 50 characters, right? Simple. So this is the thing we are going to do, and now we are going to run this query. I will execute this, and you can see command has been completed successfully. Now we will see if that particular column has been brought in this table or not. So I will just select this and I will run this particular, and here you can see a new table has been, or sorry, a new column has been created, Party Alliance. But you can see all the values are null for now because we haven't added the values in this, so it will be null, or you can see it is blank. So now next task is to add the values in this, right? So now to add the values, we have to write a big query. So I'll just reduce this, and the query, it is already written. I will just copy that, right? So first we will do it for India Alliance. So we will add the India Alliance parties. So I will just copy the query and I will explain you how we are doing that. I will just copy this and I will paste it over here, right? So now what we are doing, we are using an update function. So we have already created a field, a column in this particular table. So we have to update this particular field with some values. So first we will set India Alliance, right? So now what we will do, we will update which table, party wise tables, then set. Okay, so we will set some value as Party Alliance. Okay, so this particular new field, we will name it as India based on what condition. So we will find all the parties which falls in this India Alliance party, right? So where party in, so this is a new field which is already there in this particular result, right? Here you can see party. So we will choose those party which are India Alliance. So I will write all the parties over here, and then we have to just run this particular. So it will automatically update. So I'll just select and I will execute this. You can see 20 rows are been affected, right? And now when I go over here and when I rerun this query, execute, here you can see Aam Aadmi Party has been given, and India AI, that is Trinamool Congress, also false India, and all other values are still null. So we have to update those as well. So what we will do now, from query document, I will copy again. So NDA, these are NDA Alliance parties. So I'll just paste it over here. So we are going to update again the same query, but the value now we will say it is as NDA, and these are all the NDA parties, right? So I will just select this, I will run this, and you can see the rows are affected. And now when I rerun this query, you can see NDA are been given, right? So here you can see Bharatiya Janata Party falls in NDA, but one of few of the parties are still null, right? You can see like AIM, that is All India, uh, what's that? Majlis E, sorry, whatever, I cannot pronounce it. So AIMIM party, right? So it does not, contribute to any. So I'm sorry if I'm not able to, pronounce it name. So it's difficult for me. So sorry. Then so it's null. So because it is not a part of anyone, India or India, so it's null over here, right? So here, whichever are null, we will name them as other. So it does not fall in any one of them. So we will choose it as null. So for that also, I will write a query which is already there. Again, we will use an update, right? and we will paste it over here. And this is simple, right? So update same. Now we will set the this particular new column as other if the same column have value as null, right? So if wherever you will see the same value, same column having value as null, we will name it as other and just run this query now, right? So you can see 8 rows are affected, and now here you will just rerun this query. Oops. I will just rerun this query, and here you can see now all the values are been populated and a new complete field has been created over here, right? And now guys, we saw that we have found out, or we wrote a different so many big queries to find out NDA Alliance, India Alliance, and all those things. Now we can get it in one query itself. So what we will do, I will just write a select statement, select. Okay, what we want now, we will choose it as party alliance. Okay, so we want party alliance. Okay, comma, we also want one. Now we want here sum of one, so we have to take sum of one, and from where we want it, from this particular, that is party wise results, right? And we are using an aggregation over here, so obviously we have to use a group by clause. So group by what? The field which you are using in the visualization to bring them, whatever fields or dimensions which are there. So we have to write it in group by, and we will run this query. So now you can see in one single query itself, you got NDA 292, India 234 seats, and other were 17. So instead of writing big queries which we wrote initially to find out India seats and India seats, we can just write it in one single, right? So if you want to see India parties itself, so what we can do is, from here we can just remove the sum of one. We just want own. Okay, because we don't have to sum it from party wise results, where we will just use where party alliance, it should be equal to India, that is I dot n dot d dot I dot a, right? So the same, after a I have not given any dot, so same thing you have to write it just in single quotes, right? And here we got party, we don't want party alliance, and here we'll remove the group as well because we are not using any aggregation, and I will execute. And here you can see, and I will use order by, just order by one, and we'll use it in descending. Execute. You can see in one single query we got all the results, 20 queries, right? So for NDA it was this, and if you want to find out NDA, you just have to mention here NDA and just run this. You can see you'll get for NDA. So as simple as that. If you we just wrote few long queries to get this all things, and now we are getting in this only 4 to 5 lines, right? And very small query, and easy query. For that you must know how to alter this, and that's the reason I just showed you both the way how we can get results, right? So I hope you have understood this, the easiest way and a bit hard way, but not hard way, I can say it is also the easiest way. We can say it is a smart way, right? So so that's what you have to decide while working on different calculation, different queries, right? So this is how we have altered our table to add a new field, that is party alliance, and now this will be used in our next queries as well. All right, I hope you have understood. And now guys, if you have came at this point of video, I request you to please go ahead and subscribe the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. So this will give me a motivation to create such beautiful projects. All right guys, so let's move ahead. Alright guys, so now we'll just clear everything out, and now we will move ahead to our next problem statement. So for that, so this is our next problem statement. Uh, here, okay. So this will be our problem statement. We'll paste it over here. And now here we can see we have to find out, one sec, increase it. I'll paste it over here. Alright. So now what we have to find out, we have to find out winning candidate's name, his party name, his total votes, the margin of victory, and for a specific state and constituency, right? So we have to find out information of a winning candidate I can see all is information for that particular constituency and for that particular state, right? So now we will go one by one. So I will just use a select statement. Okay. So select first what we want is candidate's name. So I will just open our field where here we have that is nothing but our schema. So we want the candidate's name. You can see here the winning candidate name is already available over here, right? So this is the winning candidate name. I'll just copy it, the name of the, and this is from where? This is from constituency result, that is nothing but CR. Okay, so same we are using CR, that is the temporary name which will be using winning candidate here. Instead of space, just use underscore, because when we import this file automatically, wherever there will be space, it will be given as underscore in the headers, right? So this is the first thing we want, comma. Then we want their party name. Okay, so now party name will be coming from here, that is from party wise results, so it will be PR. So it is nothing but now we are use PR dot party. Okay, now next we want their total votes. Okay, so total votes we have already it in CR itself, that is CR dot total votes. We'll use CR dot total underscore votes. Okay, so here we have to give comma, here also comma. Then what we want, the information of margin. So now margin is also available over here in CR itself. So CR dot margin. Okay, comma. Then we want specific state. Okay, so from which state we have. So you can see state is here. We have to take information of state from here. So ignore the state from here, guys. Okay, so we are not going to use this, but for our sake of understanding, we are going to use state here, right? So states column, table we have differently. So states come from states. The temporary name is yes. So s dot state. So we are going to use yes dot state. Okay, comma. Uh, then what we want is uh we want constituency. Okay, so we want name of the constituency, that is nothing constituency name, which comes again from CR, that is CR dot constituency name. Copy it, I will paste it over here, and name underscore name only, right? So this is the things, all of the things we want from. Okay, so from what? First we want this from, first is what we will take it from this particular table, that is constituency wise results. So because this is the main table obviously, and we will give the name, temporary name as CR, right? Then we are going to use inner join. Okay, so if you give inner join or if you write only join also, that is also fine. Okay, it is by default an inner join itself. So we are using first party. Okay, so we are taking party information also, so this is connected to this, so we will take the party information. So we will use inner join with party wise results also, right? First control C, control V, and on we have to join on what condition. So it will, here we will give temporary name as PR, right? Because we have used here same all those. Then CR dot what, you can see this two are being joined on party ID. You can see it highlighted in green, and you can see here also. So this is party underscore ID is equal to, from PR also we are using the same thing, that is from the second table, that is PR table, it will be party ID. Again we have to use inner join. Okay, because we are bringing state information also, but to bring state information we have to go through a breach, that is nothing but this particular table, because these two are not directly connected. So we have to go through this, so we have to join this first. We'll join this, that is nothing but states wise result SR. Okay, on what, that is nothing but this will be our first table, that is nothing but CR dot, this is state, these two are joined on parliament constituency, you can see here, right? So we'll just copy this and I will paste it over here. Just you have to add here underscore. Same is equal to what? SR, right? SR dot parliament constituency, because we are using this table. Then we have to use inner join again, right? We will be using inner join again because we want to now join this particular, that is states. States S on, you can see these two are joined on what? State ID, that is SR state ID and S state ID. So first we will write SR dot state ID is equal to S dot state ID. And now we want where condition, where state, we have to mention for which state, or we can say for which constituency you have to find out, right? So we will name the constituency, that is, let's say we want to find out, so we will just open our constituency results we have here. So let's say we want to find out for Agra. So let always remember it is in capital word, so it is case sensitive. So constituency name from constituency results table we are taking, it should be in capital letters only because it's a case sensitive, right? And now we'll run this. Let's see if it runs or not. Yes, it runs. You can see in Agra who have won, Professor SP Singh Baghel. From which party? From Bharatiya Janata Party. What are the total votes he have received? We can see the margin, from which state he is, and what was his constituency name, right? So all this information we have, right? So let's say you want to see for any other constituency, right? So let's say you want to see for Baramati. Just see for Baramati. You can see for your constituency, guys, whichever you want. And I will run this now. And now you can see for Baramati won, Supriya Suleji won from Sharat Chandra Pawarji party. So now here, if you want to see which alliance is their party alliance, here you can add one more table. And party alliance obviously come from party wise results. So PR dot party underscore alliance. This table we already created it in the last part of the queries, right? The last part of the problem statement. Now here you can run this. So we have to add here comma. Now here you can see it is from India Alliance. So total votes margin by what they have won and which state it is from Maharashtra and which is the constituency name. All right. So similarly, you can choose different. So let's say you want to find out for Ghaziabad, right? So let's see who won from Ghaziabad. So you can just add over here Ghaziabad and you can run this. So you can see Atul Garg ji won in Ghaziabad from Bharatiya Janata Party NDA likewise, right? So this is the all information you can get, right? Similarly, if you want to see for, let's say for other states, right? If any other states, if you want, you can just go ahead and see that, and you can see from which party he is, which party alliance he is, and all other. If you want to see more information also, you can find out, or you can see it from here, right? So this is this particular problem statement. So I'll just select all, or we will just move ahead to our next problem statement. All right, so let's move ahead to our next problem statement, and next we have this, that is, I'll just copy this, select all, delete, and I will paste it. So we have to see what is the distribution of UM votes versus postal votes for a candidate in specific constituency. So in a specific constituencies, whoever have nominated, who have filled the nomination for election, so how many votes they have received, both EVM and postal, for a specific constituency. So in one constituency, there may be 4 candidates, 5 candidates, 10 candidates who are trying to get elected from that constituency, and how many votes they have received, that we have to find out, right? So let's see what we have to do. So we will again go to our diagram. So here we want EVM votes, then we want postal votes also, right? So we have information of this here, right? So here you can see in constituency details we have this information, and the name of the table is CD. Okay, so we'll name it as select. I will use select CD dot. Okay, so we want what? EVM votes. So I will just select this, Control C. We want EVM votes, just mention your underscore. Then what we want? Postal votes also. So I'll just copy this, and we will use CD dot postal votes. Obviously CD is a temporary name, which I already told before. Then we want we'll take total votes also, not asked, still we'll use total votes, right? And for a candidate, okay, so we will need a candidate name also. So candidate name, here we will take the candidate friend from here, CD dot candidate name. So obviously we have to add a comma over here. Okay, then we want constituency also, but here you can see we don't have the name of the constituency. So name of constituency will take it from here, that is from CR table, right? Here you can see. So it will be CR dot constituency name. Just add here underscore, right? So this is all the information we need from. Okay, so you can see this table is a fact table for us, and it is connected to this table, right? So we'll be using this, that is constituency result. From constituency result, temporary name is CR. We will join it with which table? This table, right? So constituency details table, and for us the name temporary will be CD. On joining condition as CR dot, we can see these two tables are joined on constituency ID. You can see in orange color, you can see these are the matching tables. That is nothing but constituency tables is the matching condition in between them. So it will be joined on constituency ID from the constituency results table is equal to the common column from CD table. That is nothing but again the same table name is there, and we want to find out for a specific constituency. So where the constituency we will choose it as is equal to let's check it, let's take it from this particular any constituency we'll choose from here. Let's see for Amethi. Okay, let's see for Amethi and make sure this is a case sensitive. Okay, from CR table whatever constituency name is there, if it is in all capital, use same thing. Okay, and I will run this query, and you can see from in Amethi there were 14 candidates, not 14, 13 candidates were there who wanted to get elected, who filled the nomination, and out of those you can see Kishori Lal who won the maximum votes, right? Second, there is Smriti Irani, right? Then we have Nanhe Singh Chauhan. So likewise, these are the seats, or these are the these are the total votes which they have received, and these are the EVM votes, and these are the postal votes we have received. And you can see Nota, that is they did not choose to elect give votes to any of these candidates. They just vote as a note, right? So likewise, you can see for any particular whichever you want. Like let's say you want to see for Bid. This is in Maharashtra. Okay, so I'll just choose it for Bid. You can check it for your constituency, and you can see in Bid there were 42 candidates which which were there, right? So it's amazing, right? 42 candidates were filled their nomination. Out of them, you can see Bajrang Manohar Sonowne has received the maximum votes and he won those. And you can see Pankaja Gopinath Rao Mundeji, they have this number of votes. So very less margin the candidate Bajrangji Sonowne have won, right? So likewise, you can check it for any of your constituency. Let's say we will check it for Banaras. Is there Banaras available? Let's see. No, we don't have, I guess, or we have. I'm not sure if that's the constituency. Okay, let it be. So let's check something for Bidar. Okay, so I guess this is in Karnataka if I'm not wrong. And I will just run this. You can see in Bidar there were 18 candidates, and in that who have won Sagarji Ishwar Khandariji, right? So he won with maximum these votes, right? So likewise you can check it for any constituency, whichever you want. All the information will get over here, right? All right, so now let's move ahead to our next problem statement. It's this, that is which parties own most in a state, right? Which parties own most of the seats in a state and how many seats did each party win. So this is the statement. So it is nothing that, so let's say we have a state, let's say Uttar Pradesh. So in that, how many parties were, who nominated their candidates in that particular constituency, and how many seats this does all did all that parties win, right? So in that specific state only we are looking for, right? So if you look for our this diagram from here, what we want is seats owned. So we will take the winning candidates or the information of seats owned from here. That is nothing but count of constituency name. This is nothing but the result states which we have. Then we will take the party information from here, and then we have to see for a specific state. So we will take it from here. So we are going to make use of this table and this table. So we know that if this table come in picture, we have to make use of this table itself. So these four tables we are going to make use of, and then we will going to write a joining condition. But we already have a query. I will not waste time here. So I will just uh, use it over here, and I will explain you what we are doing. So what we are doing here is we are taking party from a party wise result table, right? So we have this particular p table, that is nothing but this table, right? So here instead of pr you can use p. In my query document I have used p, so it doesn't matter, it's just a temporary name. Then we are taking count of constituency ID from this table because it's nothing a seats own for us, because initially also when we are finding out the total seats own in a specific state, we have taken the count of this particular thing only. Or you can take it from own from here also, so it does not matter, right? So if you take it own from here and we have to take information from here, you have to still go from this row. It will not matter much. So we will take use this, all you can use own from here also, it doesn't matter, sum of own you have to use just, right? And then we are taking constituency results, we are joining it on party wise results, right? So we have joined these two. Then we are joining the state wise results, right? So that is nothing but this is going to join with this. And then again we are joining this two, that is this two, right? Because we want states information, where let's say we want to find it for Andhra Pradesh, and we have to group it by party because we are using an aggregation over here. And then we are just looking it in ascending order. So I'll just run this, and you can see in Andhra Pradesh there were four parties which own the elections with the respective seats available over here. The maximum won were 16, right? Which was by Telugu Desam party. So let's say you want to see for Uttar Pradesh, and this is Uttar Pradesh, and make sure you are taking it from state column. So this is case sensitive. Make sure you are writing the correct spell mistake. Sorry, the correct spelling which is there in this particular table, right? So I'll just execute this, and you can see for UP Samajwadi Party won 37, Bharatiya Janata Party won 33. Let's say similarly you want to see for Gujarat, right? And you just run this query. Oops, I'll just run this query, and I'm not sure if the state name I'm using is correct or not. I'll just check it quickly. States Gujarat. Where is it? Find it. So you can see this is the name. It's Gujarat. G A. A is there. And now we'll run. You can see Bharatiya Janata Party BJP 25, and Indian National Congress has won itself, right? So if you want to see for Maharashtra, so you can see INC, that is Congress won 13. So if you want to see for any of your states, you can just see from here. If you want to see from Karnataka, just copy this, paste it over here, and you can see it for Karnataka, right? So for Karnataka, BJP 17, INC 9, Congress, and Janata Dal Secular JDS, it is 2 itself, right? So let's say for Delhi, we have to see. So you can see in Delhi, all the seats were owned by BJP, right? Let's say in Rajasthan, right? So in Rajasthan, BJP was 14, Congress was 8, and RLTP was 1, Communist Party of India was 1, Bharatiya Adivasi Party was 1. So likewise, you can check it for your state and see if we are getting the correct result or not, right? So this was the query for this particular problem statement. All right, guys. All right, so now let's move ahead to our next problem statement, and I will just write it over here itself. And so let's see what's the problem statement we have. So this, right? So I will just select this and I will paste it over here, and I will just add an enter and this, right? So now what we want here is what is the total number of seats owned by each party alliance, right? So the total number of seats owned by each party alliance, NDA, India, and the other party alliance, right? uh, which are not in these two, right? In each state for India elections 2024. So what we have to do here, in each state, how many seats were owned by India and how many seats were owned by India Alliance, right? So alliance wise, we have to find out now the seats owned by each particular in each particular state. So this is advanced version. Initially we calculated for each party. Now we have to find out each for each party alliance, right? The same thing we have to use here, right? So same structure will be there, just few things will be changing over here. So what we have to find out is we have to find out total seats owned. So again, obviously total seats owned, we will use this particular And next what we want is the name of that party alliance. So same query, what I will do, I will use same query. Okay, and I will paste it over here, right? So I will use same query over here, and instead of p dot party here, what we want here is p dot party underscore alliance, right? So this is what we want. And okay, so this is per party, and we want to find out it as for a specific state. Okay, so we want to find out for specific state, right? And I will just remove this. So we want to find out for a specific state. So first I will take state. So s dot state. See, I have used here p dots. That's the reason I'm using. You can use your pr dot. So if I'm using your pr, here also you have to use pr everywhere. Likewise, right? So that's the thing. So we want state, and then we want the this comma should be here, right? And then we have to use the party alliance. So what we will do, so I will just run this query and see what we are getting. And here we have p dot party could not be found. Oops, where is p dot party here? So we don't want group by here because we are not using any aggregation over here. So we just remove it. Here also, this also I will remove it. We don't want this also, and I will run this. And now here you can see for each state you are seeing that party alliance is NDA, NDA, NDA. So for each constituency and all those things we are repeating it again and again, right? So what we can do here is we will just have to modify our query, and I will just use a different query here. So you can see I will be using this, and I will show you why we are using that. And I will just copy it, and I will paste it over here. Okay, so now what we are doing here, we are taking state, right? And then we are taking sum. Okay, we are taking sum, but we are using a case function over here. When party alliance is equal to NDA, then 1. What does this mean? That wherever there is NDA, you see wherever there NDA, you should note it as 1. So you can see for Rajasthan there is once NDA, twice NDA, thrice, 4, 5. So every time it sees NDA, it will take 1, and then after taking 1, 1, 1, 1, it will take sum of it, right? So sum of all the ones occurrence which is there, if it is not NDA, it will choose it as 0. So it will check every possible condition for Rajasthan. And let's say Rajasthan is third possible condition, it's India. So if it is India, it is not matching this condition, so it will choose it as 0. But here it is matching this condition here, so it will choose it as 1. So likewise, we have taken for all the three party alliance which are there for us, other India and NDA. So we have wrote the case statement for us, and this will give us a separate column also. So here you can see there is only one party alliance. So now it will give us NDA Alliance, India Alliance, and other. So it will give us the three different, we can say, the columns as well. But here you can see we are using sum over here. So that is aggregation. So if you are using an aggregation, obviously you have to use a group by clause. I will use a group by clause, and we have to group it by this state, right? So we have to group it by state, and I will run this. And so we can see p dot party alliance cannot be found. So obviously because we are using pr, so it should be pr over here. So the query document, in that I have mentioned p. So just you know how to do that. So you can see for Rajasthan NDA we are 14, India are 11, and others are 0, right? So if you want to see for all the state at once, I will just remove this where condition, and you will see for all the state at once. So you can see for all the states you can see at once, right? And here you can see if you want to see for Maharashtra, you can see NDA were 17, India seats were 30, and these were 1. Getting or not? So likewise, this is how we do it, right? So in UP also, Uttar Pradesh, you can see India were 36, these are 43 and 0, 1, right? So if you want to see for Gujarat, 25, 1, right? So if you want to see for, let's say, Andhra Pradesh, you can see 21, 0, NDA seats were 21. Getting or not? Similarly, if you want to see for West Bengal, it were 12 NDA and 30 were India seats. Madhya Pradesh, all the seats were, this NDA seats. Kerala was one only NDA and 19 were India seats, right? So others also you can see 4 were from Andhra Pradesh, 4 were others, right? So in this way you can analyze this. For BR you can see NDA were 30, India were only 9. Getting or not? So this is how you improvise your query, right? And you should know why we are writing this query. So I have just copied this because it would take some time for me to type it. So just copied it and I have just explained you how it works, right? So this is how you find the answer for this particular query. So I'll just select all and I will delete this. All right, so now we will move ahead to our next problem statement. That is nothing but this, that is which candidate received the highest number of EM votes in each constituency, right? So and we have to just find out the top 10. So what I will do, I have already wrote the query over here, so it will save my time to write the query. So I will just copy it and I will explain you how it works. So I'll just copy it, and here you can see we have wrote select top 10. So here itself we will limit the data which we have to bring it into the result. So top 10, we just want the top 10 to be able to see in the result. And the next, we are bringing constituency name, we are bringing the constituency ID from the constituency details, candidate name, and the EVM votes which we have received, right? And then we are joining this particular table. So obviously we should join from this particular table to this, right? So from this to this we have to join, but I have joined it from this to this, so it does not matter actually. You will get the same results, right? So if you join, that is if you write the CR table first and the right table, if you joined it as a constituency details, then also it will was because we are using an inner join. Okay, so if you are using only join, it is a by default an inner join operation, right? So if you write here inner join, it is one and the same, right? And if you're only writing join, by default MS SQL Server is understand it is a join. So if you are using two tables, so you can write this table first or this table first. Doesn't matter because you are only taking the matching values from both the tables. So it does not matter, right? If you are using a left and right join, then it will matter, right? So either, so you can use anything first, anything last, you will get the same result. So we are bringing from this two tables, obviously joining condition, you know, where here we have wrote something different, right? So here we have EVM votes, so we have to take maximum EVM votes, right? So what we have taken the maximum. So if I just run this particular query, you can see this is the maximum EVM votes. So the maximum EVM votes for our that particular constituency details which a candidate have received, right? So this will be the maximum and you have just choose top 10, and then you are joining these two tables. CD1 is nothing but, guys, it is a temporary table. It is a second table, that is constituency details we are writing in this query, and this particular query is a nested query which we are writing a query inside a query. It is called as a nested query. Getting or not? So now you run this query, and here you can see these are the top 10 candidates or the names of the candidates who have received the maximum amount of EVM votes. So first you can see it's from the constituency name as Dubri, which is from the name of is Rakibul Hussain. And if you want more information, you can go ahead and see from which party it is, from which state he is, or that particular fellows. You can obviously add more conditions over here. You can write the joining conditions and you will get the output over here. Not a big deal. So till coming up to this query, you might have understood to write those particular queries, and you would be able to write those, right? So I hope you have understood. I'm not wasting time on writing the queries. If you have understood the concepts, that's good for us, right? So this was for the top 10 with highest number of EM votes. So now let's move ahead. I will just select all and I will delete this. And now we will move ahead to our next problem statement, second last one. So this is which candidate won and which candidate was a runner up. So this is an important query, a bit advanced query, I can say, which is, I'll just comment it out. And so I will just copy the query as it is first, and I will explain you how it works. Okay, so this is the entire query. You can see it is a long query. Okay, here, right? So we are using a with function over here. We are creating a table first, right? And so based on that, we are using, a partition also function over here. We are dividing our table, and then we are finding out the rank for those. We can see we are specifying the row number, and then we are adding the EVM modes. We are adding the postal loads based on the questions we have, and based on that I have written this particular query. It took so much of time for me to write this particular query, arrange it properly, for you so that you can understand this, right? So explanation of this query also I have written it over here. So you can see this explanation I have written it over how this particular and what we have used over here and why we have written all these particular functions. So in this query document I have mentioned everything. You can just go and see this particular query document on how and why we are writing this particular, because if I try to explain it will take so much of time, and so many one function is interrelated to another and you might get confused. So it's better you can read it over here in this particular document, and then you will be able to understand why we are writing and how we are writing this query, right? So if I run this particular query, and you can see we are getting all the information, and right now we are seeing it for Maharashtra, right? So for Maharashtra, in a specific constituency, we'll see who won and who is the runner-up. Runner-up is nothing but the second maximum votes we have received, right? This is the maximum and this is the second maximum. So these two are the important. So this is the winning candidate and who lost, right? Similarly, you can see for your particular state. So if you want to see for, let's say, Uttar Pradesh, you want to see for Uttar Pradesh, and if I execute this, you can see you will get all the information for Uttar Pradesh also, right? So in Ghaziabad you can get. So let's say you want to see for Jhansi also, right? You can see for Meerut who won, who lost, right? And here you can see for Sitapur, for Varanasi you can see Narendra Modi ji won and Ajay Rai was the opposite candidate who was the second maximum, right? For Agra you have Balia, Banda, Bareilly also you can see. Then you can see for Faziabad also you can see likewise, right? So this is the easiest way by writing one single query you will get an output, right? And this is an advanced query I can say, right? If see if you can understand. But I recommend you that you have seen so many of I can say basic to intermediate or some advanced query, but this is an ultra advanced I can say. And I want you to understand this query and make some modifications and try to get some other results also. Try to get here a second runner up also, right? So try to get, this is the runner up, get here second runner up. Try to get here and see who have received the third maximum votes, right? So likewise you can do some changes in this particular query. So now next we have left with our last problem statement, that is for Maharashtra state, what are the total number of seats, total number of candidates, total number of parties, votes, including EVM and postal, and the breakdown of EVM and postal votes. So for Maharashtra state itself, we have to find out this. So how many seats were there, whatever, how many total number of candidates participated in the elections, what are the total number of parties who participated, and what were the total votes received, right? EVM plus postal both. So I would recommend you to see this particular diagram, the relation entity relationship diagram, and create a query for you. So this is an homework for you. Obviously, I have added this particular query in the query document, but I would recommend you first by looking and seeing this particular ERD diagram, go ahead and try to solve this query on your own. If you're getting an error, try to resolve it, and at last if you're not able to perform, just go ahead and see. But if you're getting, then well and good. Then it's an proof that you have understood everything, all the concepts, and you are good to go with all the SQL commands, right? So I hope guys you have learned so many things from here, and most important, that is this particular diagram, and writing joining conditions, how to see or read this particular column, how to write the joins and all those things, right? So I hope you have learned so many things from here, and if you have, just go ahead and like the channel, subscribe the channel, like this particular video, and share it with your friends, and just keep supporting as you are doing so, and it will give me a motivation to create such exciting and advanced projects. And I will see you in the next one, guys. Thank you.